Hi everyone, welcome back to the part 4 of the inventory system tutorial, and in today's video we'll be finishing the hotbar system. So we'll fix several bugs and issues that some of you pointed out in the comments, so thank you so much for that. After that we'll revamp the consume item logic as well as we're gonna add a save game specifically for the hotbar. By the way, it's been a while since my last video, I do apologize for that. But the good news is I just started my winter break, which means that I finally have more time to make videos again. So from now on, after we finish with this video, I will be continuing working on the equipment system and possibly move on to the crafting system as well. So stay tuned, I promise I'll finish everything within this month. And yeah guys, Happy New Year, 2026. I hope this year will be great for all of you guys. Alright, without any further ado, let's get started to the video guys. I'm gonna recap a bit about what we have done before. So we have finished the inventory system and then also the hotbar here. And can also drop the item there. You can move between the slot here, and then you can move it back to the inventory and move it back here. So it's all working. So okay, so we got our first issue here, which is whenever you try to select the item in the hotbar here, and then you drop it, the status still remains there. I think it should not be there, so it should be hidden. And also, if you notice that the selection border of the slot bar is also disappeared, it should keep the white border here visible no matter what. So whenever you drop the item here, it should remains there. And we're gonna fix that now. Okay, so let's go to the blueprint and then to the UI hotbar. Let's open the hotbar slot and the WBP hotbar. And also let's open our BPAC inventory component here. So actually we have this drop item function, and we do have the on item removed callback over here, which will be used. So we will add one more input here. So let's call this item dropped, and let's compile that. You should got several errors here. So what you're gonna do is just right click on the node here and refresh the nodes. On this drop item function, make sure that the item dropped here is checked. Alright, compile. And now we still have two more errors to do. So on the remove item here, again right click and refresh nodes and just make it false. Okay, compile again, and let's the last one here is the clear inventory slot. Again, right click and refresh nodes. Make sure this is unchecked. Right, compile. Okay, so after we create this variable, so we're gonna go to the hotbar, WBP hotbar, go to the graph here. Okay, and here on the event construct, we have this BPAC inventory component reference. If you don't have this, make sure you get the character and then you cast the player character. And then you get the inventory component. Okay, now we can bind on item removed. Drag it there, and then from the event here, drag off and add a custom event. Alright, and then what you're gonna do is just get a branch, Alt B and click. Just plug that in there. Item drop, plug into the condition, and if it's dropped, we will set the hotbar status. But actually we have this function. So this is the one that we created before. Make sure you got the set visibility here, correct? Plug into the true branch there. And for the slot data, let's plug this into the inventory slot. Alright, cool. Now compile. Okay, so the next one, we're gonna go to the hotbar slot widget here. Go to the event graph. So we have created, actually, give me 1 minute to like make everything more organized here. So I'll just add some comments. Now let's go to the set hotbar item function. Okay, so we're gonna fix the border. The white border is disappearing after we like drop the item maybe, or maybe move the item. So that's a very simple fix. We're just gonna delete this, so we will not set the visibility of the white border, since we already have this set whenever we scroll our mouse or whenever we press the keyboard number O. So we're gonna delete that and go back to the event graph. We're gonna set a reference to the hotbar widget. Okay, so to do that, we're just gonna make a new variable here. Hotbar widget reference. This is gonna be a WBP underscore hotbar. I want to get the reference of the parent widget over here because we want to access the set hotbar status function over here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And we can make this instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile that, go back to the hotbar here. We're gonna go to the initialize hotbar over here, and from here we're gonna refresh nodes. Oops, it's not appearing. So we have to check the expose on spawn here. Sorry, compile that, go back here, and now you should see the hotbar widget reference appearing here. Get a reference to the south. Keep in mind, we're gonna modify this initialize hotbar function in the next section. Now we can go back to the hotbar slot here. Let's go inside the set hotbar item function. Okay, and from here we're gonna get a branch. We're gonna get a reference to our played character. So get played character, and let's cast this to the BP third person character. Right click, convert to pure cast, and then from here get the BPAC inventory component, and then you can get the current selected hotbar -1. Actually, we initialize this index, so it starts from 1 and not from 0. But we want to get the index which starts from 0. So we're gonna subtract this by 1. Do a equal check if it's equal to the index hotbar index over here. Okay, and then plug that into the branch. And now we can get our hotbar widget reference and just set the hotbar status. Okay, for the data here, it's gonna be the hotbar item from these variables. Cool. Now just gonna have to do copy paste this. So duplicate and put it here. And don't forget to right click this and convert to pure cast. From here, we're just gonna have AND boolean here. So get an AND boolean. For the second condition, it's gonna be the get hotbar item if it's empty. Sorry, if it's not empty, so get a not boolean here and plug the AND here into the condition. Okay, now everything should work just fine. So let's play the game. And you take an item here, drop it here. I select this hotbar and you drop it, it should disappear. And also whenever you drag to here, it should also show the status correctly. Okay, and this also work if you try to swap the item. Nice. And everything still works just fine. You swap it, you drop it, it will disappear. And you drag a new one here, the status will appear correctly. Okay, nice. So we have fixed the issue. So I got one more issue. Whenever you try to move the item from the inventory to the hotbar, and then you move another item in the inventory, and then you drop it, it doesn't want to drop. Okay, so it doesn't work. So we're gonna fix this. It's a very simple fix, guys. So you just go to the WPP hotbar over here. So on the drag enter and the drag leave, I'm just gonna make a comment. So on drag enter, so get the from the inventory URL reference, you're gonna set the drag leaving. Right, set this to true. Copy paste this. And plug in the target to the inventory URL reference. Just make sure both of these are true. Right, compile. Okay, so now whenever you move an item from the inventory to the hotbar, and then you move another item from the inventory here, and we drop it, it should work just fine. And you can see that everything still works just fine. So we have fixed all of the problems that we have. So let's move on to revamping our consume item. Okay, so lastly, we have implemented our consume item inside the inventory slot. So we have this consume item function. We don't want to use this anymore because like we have implemented our hotbar slot here, and I don't want to duplicate all of this and make a new function here. So instead, we're gonna move everything into the BPAC inventory component. Okay, so we're gonna go to the inventory component here and add a new function, consume item. So just gonna keep this empty for now, since we're gonna make a new array here to store all of the hotbar slots that we have. Because actually, if you notice that we don't have an array variable to store all of the hotbar slots, we only have this function which will initialize the hotbar, and it will just get a for loop here, and it will create a widget and add a child to the horizontal box. We're gonna work on this. But first, we're gonna make a new variables on the inventory component. Let's name this Hotbar Slots. Okay, and for the type, it's gonna be an inventory slot data, and make this an array. Okay, cool. And then let's go back to the Hotbar widget. Go to the initialize Hotbar function. From here, we're just gonna have to get the PPAC inventory component reference. So we're gonna get the player character and cast this to the BP third person character. Plug in there. And then from here, get the BPAC inventory component. We get the Hotbar slots and add. And for the wildcard here, we're just gonna make is empty true, and the slot index, plug this into the index over there. Okay, we're gonna skip this empty for now. Compile. The next thing here is to update the array. So to do that, we're gonna add a new event dispatcher inside the Hotbar slot over here. So add a new event dispatcher. Let's call this on update Hotbar. So we will fire this whenever an item has been moved to this hotbar or moved out from this hotbar. We're gonna have one input. It's gonna be an inventory slot data. And let's name this new Hotbar slot data. And we're gonna fire this whenever we set the hotbar item over here. So let's do it on let's gonna make a new sequence. So Alt S and click. Then 0 goes to the branch, and then 1, we're gonna call this on update hotbar. So call that and plug the hotbar item to the input. Okay, compile. Now let's go back to the WP hotbar here. And from this return value, we're gonna bind on update hotbar. Since we are inside a function, so we will not be able to make an event. So if you type add custom event, it will not show up here. Instead, we're gonna make a create event, and you're gonna click on the create a matching event. But actually, if you try to compile this, it will throw an error. So you're gonna just Control X or cut it and move it inside the event graph. Okay, now it should work. Also make sure that it has set here. So custom event 0. Okay, nice. And I'll just rename this to like on Hotbar slot updated underscore event. Okay, so from this new Hotbar slot data, we're gonna again get our player character and cast this to our BP third person character. Get the BPAC inventory component. Get the Hotbar slots. Get a reference. Okay, get a reference, guys, not a copy. And from this index, plug this into the new Hotbar slot data. Break it first and get the slot index. And from here, we can set members. Set members in struct inventory slot data. And then we can get set the item data. And it's empty. To here. It's empty and item data goes there. Okay, cool. Comment this out. So on Hotbar slot updated, we're gonna update the Hotbar slots data inside the PAC inventory component. Compile that. And now to test this out, I'm gonna just have a simple debug here. So I'm gonna make from the event tick here, make a delay. For every 1 second, we will just print just gonna get a for each loop here and print the Hotbar slots array. You don't have to do this, guys. Here I'm just trying to like make sure that everything works successfully. Okay, gonna compile that. Let's play. So you should see that everything's still like empty there. When you move an item, the hotbar should show the Apple ID here with amount set to 2, right? Then when you move this, it will update to the hotbar array inside the inventory component. Nice. Now let's move on to the consume item function. Hold on. If you got this error, it says like attempted to access index 0 from these hotbar slots. That's because in this event, we should add a delay. So let's add a small delay. Like maybe 0.1 second should be enough, since the engine is still preparing for everything, and we set this event as a binding event to the event dispatcher, which is initialized earlier than the other one. So we're gonna add a delay here, and we're gonna click play, and everything should still work without any errors. Nice. Okay, so let's work on the consume item function. Let's go into the consume item function here. We're gonna have 3 inputs. So first one is item to consume. It's gonna be item data. Okay, next one is from hotbar. It's gonna be a boolean. If it's true, we're gonna update the hotbar slots and not the inventory slots. Then the next one is the custom slot index. This is for the, if you click on the item in the inventory, it will decrease the item amount from that particular index. And then we're gonna break from the item to consume. And from the item ID here, we're gonna run a switch. So switch on string. And let's open our data table. So it's on the blueprint item and DT inventory item data. So I want you to get the item ID here and copy all of this. Copy this into the here. So add a pin and paste the name there. Do the same for the others. So I think we have 5 different items. Banana. And pineapple here. And an X. Okay, cool. Then let's get an owner. So we're gonna work on the consumable items first. So get owner and get a cast to BP third person character and convert to pure cast. So I'm gonna add some very simple hotbar. So just to demonstrate the consumable items are actually working. I have made a video covering on how to make a complete hotbar system, and as well as a stamina one. So you can consider checking that out first. So here I'm just gonna speed run and make everything quick. So I'm gonna go to the player hut here, and I think we can have a horizontal box there and make the size to be like maybe 500 by 50 maybe. Okay, just make it there, and a text and a progress bar. Text, make it center, all this HP, and let's make a padding to the right to be 10 maybe. From here make it fill, change the color to be like a bit reddish like that. Okay, nice. And then we're gonna go to the player character. So BP third person character, it's on the content, third person, blueprint, and third character there. Make 2 new variables. So current HP, make it float, and then a max HP float. Compile, change the max value to be 100, and then you're gonna go to the event begin play. And actually feel free to use your own hotbar system. Just make sure you can consume the item and the items do something. This is just for demonstration purpose only. So don't worry if you cannot follow the video here. You can just skip to the next section. Okay, and from here you can get the max HP and set the current HP. But actually I want it to be like, we're gonna start from a low HP first. And let's set this to 5 maybe. And then let's make one function at HP. Okay, just make a new inputs, heal amount, make it a float. Cool. And then here we can get a plus. So the heal amount plus the current HP. Get a clamp float. The minimum is 0 and the maximum is the max HP there. Now we can set this clamp value into the current HP. Nice. Compile. Go back to the player HUD, and then from here, from the person here, create binding. We're just gonna get the player character, pass this to the BP third person character, make sure it's valid, and then we're gonna get the current HP and get the max HP. Run a floating divide, so divide there. Okay, just plug this into the return value like that. Let's compile. Now it should show up the HP bar. Correct. And then let's continue. So we already have the function that I created here. So it's called 8 HP. It's just gonna set the current HP to the heal amount here plus the current HP. So feel free to use your own function or your own system if you have another item, for example. From here, we can just add the HP. Let's say the apple heal amount is maybe 5. And then for the banana, copy paste that. Let's add a 10 for the amount. And for the pineapple, let's add 15. For this right here, actually we have a function on the player character to unequip or equip equipment, helmet and X here. So we're gonna use this function, this event, sorry. Let's go back here from the player character, equip or unequip helmet, and then X. Like that. And for the toggle, we can get from this S equipment equipped and get the not boolean. Drop this in there, in there. So we have done our logic here to call the function. So make sure you have your own functionality if you want to. You can also copy mine if you want to. That's totally fine. Okay, and then we're gonna remove the item. So call the remove item here for the consumables. Plug that into the into this tree, and then the item ID is gonna be the item to consume. Get the item to consume and then break it. Get the item ID. And then we can set the amount to remove to be 1. And then for the custom slot index, set this to the get custom slot index. Okay, so make sure that you set the default value of this to -1. Okay. And let's do the same for the equipment here. But since we have this boolean that we have to set again, so we're gonna get the inventory slots and the hotbar slots. Okay, we're gonna get the copy of this, get a reference of this, sorry, and we can just deselect this. We can select. Okay, sorry, and the index wildcard here is gonna be the from hotbar. So let's get from hotbar. Plug this into the index. So if it's true, set this to the hotbar slots. If it's false, set this to the inventory slots. Okay, but if you still see that this is like grayed out here, you can, I think you cannot like set the members. Oh, you can actually. Okay, so set members in struct item data. So you have to type it manually. That's cool. Plug this back. Plug this into the helmet and the X. Okay, for the index here, sorry, it's gonna be. And for the index here, it's gonna be from the custom slot index. Yeah, so get custom slot index. Index there, and then here we can just set the members in the struct inventory slot data. We can set the item data. Drag from the item data here, and set members in item data. Cool. And for the struct reference, we just gonna get the from here, break it, and get the item data. Like this, check the is equipment equipped. Plug that back into this function. For this one, drag this into the not boolean over there. Alright, cool. Now it should be working just fine. So let's hook this up into our inventory slot first, and then we're gonna move to the hotbar slot. Let's go to the inventory slot right here. Let's go to the on mouse button up. This is where we call our consume item function. Delete that. We're gonna get the BPAC component. We don't have that, so get player character again. So cast this. Right. Get the BPAC inventory component. Consume item. Cool. Item to consume is gonna be from this item data. And from hotbar, uncheck this because we are on the inventory slot. And for the custom slot index, it's gonna be from this slot index. So we don't actually need this anymore. Just select that. Okay, nice. Let's test this out, guys. So we're gonna grab an item here and click here. It should work just fine. And the HP are also increasing. This should work with other items as well, including this helmet, for example. Okay, so we have another problem where if you equip this helmet, it will not show the equipped text here, and you can't also unequip it. So we're gonna fix that really quick. Okay, so to fix that, from this consume item here, we have to get the new inventory slots. So inventory slots here from the inventory component, get a reference of this index, put it into the slot index, call this function init or update slot. So this will basically just like update the whole slot, like the text and the amount here, as well as the equipped text over here. Cool. So go back here, plug that in there. Inventory slot goes to the inventory slots here. Compile and play. Now it should work, guys. So you pick up the helmet, you equip that, it should work, and unequip here, it should also work just fine. Also add the HP there, it will remove the item there, and you're gonna pick up another one. You can move it around, move it to the hotbar there, and so on. Now we can just have to implement it to our hotbar system. So to do that, actually we have when we move this item here, we got a E to consume, but whenever we press E, the inventory will open. So we're gonna change that into the consume item input instead of like open the inventory. So we're gonna go back into the content browser, boot content, third person input, go inside the IMC default here, expand the mappings, gonna go to the IA open inventory, and we can delete this E button here. So I'm just gonna use the tab to open or close the inventory. Then we're gonna go to the actions and just copy from one of this and copy from this. So Control D to duplicate IA, name this IA underscore consume item from hotbar. Open that, make sure that it is set to digital boolean and it has two triggers, pressed and released. Save that, go back to the default here and create a new mappings. Choose IA consume item from hotbar, and you can click here to listen to your keyboard. You can press the E key. Okay, save that. Now let's go to the BP third person character, and let's call the IA underscore consume item from hotbar. Nice. And from here, get the inventory component and run the consume item. Just call the consume item function. Plug this into the started. We're gonna copy the inventory component here. We're gonna get the hotbar slots, get a reference, and for the index it's gonna be the, again, get from the inventory component and get the current selected hotbar index, and we should -1. Sorry for that, I almost forget that. We're gonna break this. Break this, and then plug this item data into the item to consume, and check the from hotbar. And the slot index is gonna be from this one. Okay, so I'm gonna add a branch here before we call the function. Branch, if it's not empty, so from this is empty, it get a not boolean. Set this to the condition. Alright, cool. Compile. And now it should work just fine, guys. So let's see. Let's take an item and you move this to the hotbar, and then you select it using your mouse wheel. You click E to consume. Okay, now the HP bar are actually increasing, but the hotbar is still not updating. Okay, so to do that, let's go to the WB hotbar here and make a new variables. It's gonna be hotbar slots widget reference. Make this a WBP hotbar slot. Make it an array. Okay, and from this we can just like get this and add here, and for this one it's gonna be the return value from this. Compile that, and now we can go back to our player character. We have the player HUD reference here. If you don't have this, so you're gonna go back to the event begin play and make sure that whenever you create the widget, you have to promote this to a variable. Okay, so we have the reference, and here we can get the WP hotbar and get the hotbar slots widget reference. Get a copy. The index is gonna be this one, so current select index -1. And from here we can just set hotbar item. Okay, item data goes to this item data. And for the clear, set the is empty there. Okay, now we are good to go. And now you can click play to test this out. So you take an item, you move the item to the hotbar, select that, and you click E to consume. Okay, so it still doesn't update the item itself. Okay, I think I got it, guys. So we're gonna go back to the inventory component here, consume item. So on this remove item function, we actually just like get the inventory slots and we set the members there to remove the quantity there. So we're gonna do the same for this. We're gonna add a new input on the remove item function. Make it a boolean. Let's name this like from hotbar. And then from this one, just gonna disconnect this and get a select. The index here is just gonna be the from hotbar right here. If it's true, set this to the hotbar slots. If it's false, set this to the inventory slots. Okay, compile. And now let's go back to the consume item. And from this from hotbar, we can just like get this from hotbar. Or you can just like drag this into the input right there. Cool. Compile and play. Now it should work 100%. Take an item, move it to the hotbar, consume it, and now it decreased the amount and it will disappear. But there is another issue. Whenever you move this and then you consume it, it will appear back into the inventory. So there's an infinite item glitch. So to fix that, it's actually on the same one right here. Okay, so I got the problem, guys. So it's because this event dispatcher, we call the on item removed, but actually we don't need to call this if we are on the hotbar. Okay, since we already do that in here, the set hotbar item. So we can just like get a branch over, just go to the remove item function, and on the end here, get a branch, condition, get the from hotbar, not boolean. So if it's not from hotbar, we're gonna call this on item removed. And if it false, just don't do anything. Compile, play. And now, guys, when you take an item, you move it here, you consume that, it should not mess up with the inventory. This also works with other item as well. Okay, cool. Now we are done with everything, guys. It will have to work with this equipment. So you can equip or unequip the X from the hotbar and also from the inventory. There's a small issue. So whenever you consume an item here, sometimes it doesn't work, and then like the item here will just not, like, you can't consume the item. So we're gonna fix that.
1 million zillion jillion dillion cotillion times later.
Okay, so after some debugging, I found the issue, guys. So it's on the hotbar here, and whenever you update, it's on this slot updated event. If you disconnect the delay, it will work just fine. So let me show you guys. So whenever you pick up an item there, you pick up another one, you move this to hotbar, just get there, and then you consume this to 0, and then you move this back here, you consume it again, it should work. So but we're gonna get an error saying that the index 0 and length 0 over here. So okay, so we're gonna fix that. Actually, let's make another input here, make a new input on the event here. Let's call this skip delay. Set this to false by default, and get a branch there, conditions for there. If it's true, we're gonna skip the delay and go straight to the third person character there. And if it's false, put this into the delay, and on the completed here, drag this back into the character, cast right there. Okay, compile, and we should got an error saying that we have to also set the on update hotbar here. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the hotbar slot over here on update hotbar, and we can make another new input, boolean, skip delay, and we're gonna have to refresh for all the nodes there. Okay, and then for the skip delay boolean here, we have to drag this into the input here. And make sure that the default value of this is checked. True. Compile that. Now let's go back to the event graph. Right here. Go to the event construct and uncheck the skip delay. Okay, compile. And then when you click play, you should see no errors. Nice. And let's take an item, for example, here. Move this into the hotbar. And let's take another one. Move it there. We consume an item. We drag this into the first index there. We consume it again, and it's working flawlessly without any errors. Nice. So we have done with the consume item. So you can consume the items from the inventory as well as from the hotbar. So now we are getting to the final feature of the video. So we're gonna implement a save game for the hotbar items. It's gonna be pretty similar to what we have done for the inventory slots, but instead of getting or setting the inventory slots here, we're just gonna save the hotbar slots instead. So let's move on to the save game feature. Save that. Let's go back to our content, blueprint, save game, and let's open our save game data. We're gonna add a new variable. It's gonna be a hotbar slot data. We're gonna have the same type of this inventory sort data. So inventory sort data, and make it an array. Save that. Now let's go to our inventory component here. Now let's go here, and we have implemented this interface here. So we're gonna go to the on pre-save over here on the interface. Click on this struct save game data, and we're gonna set the hotbar slot data as well. Oops, sorry, it should be the array. I think I forgot to save that. So click save. Change this and make sure that it's an array here. Go back here and check the hotbar slot data. Gonna grab the hotbar slot from here and drag this to that. Cool. Compile that. Now let's work on the load game. Now we can just go back to the on game loaded function event here. From here we can just get from this and set our hotbar slots here. Plug this into the hotbar slot data like that. Okay, so let's test this out. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna open the level blueprint. So remember that we have set this key for debugging as a save game key. So in the next video, I'm gonna show you how you can have a bat to like save the game progress. So instead of having to click 1 or 2 every time, you can just go to that bat and click E to save the game. Okay, that's gonna be a very interesting topic as well. Let's play the game, and then we can test the game out. Cool, nice. Okay, so I just found another issue. So whenever you want to click play and you got this error, you're gonna go back to the inventory UI, go to the event graph. It's because event graph here, it's because we have two event dispatcher with the same event, which has a different inputs. So I'm gonna disconnect that and make a new custom event for the on item removed, and just copy all of these. It's just gonna be the same like that. Compile, play. Let's test this out. So you can take an item. Let's take multiple, and you move the item into the hotbar, something like that maybe, and then you're gonna click 1 to save the game. Okay, and the game is saved. Okay, it's actually working. The save game is actually working, but if you notice that it will like add a new index on top of the existing array. So we're gonna fix that. So it's gonna be very easy. Go back to the WP hotbar here. Go to event graph, initialize hotbar. So we don't want to add to this array over here, but we just wanna get a reference to this. Index goes to from this index wildcard from the for loop. Now we can set the members of this. All right, check everything here. Just delete the add here. We don't need that anymore. And again, from the slot index goes to this index here, and it's empty, set this to true, and item data set this to false. Okay, now we can move here into the add here. Okay, so this means that we have to initialize the array in the event begin play here. So we have this initialize slot function that we call whenever we load the game. And we also have check the has saved game. So when it's false, double click on that. Let's make a new variable here. So num of hotbar slots. Okay, so it's much more organized this way. So we initialize the hotbar and the inventory inside this inventory component instead of like having it on the hotbar, having it on the inventory UI. I think that's makes sense here. So num of hotbar slots. From this input, we're gonna have a sequence and just plug it there. For the den 0 is gonna be the inventory, and the den 1 we're gonna make a hotbar. So initialize inventory array, slots array, make a branch, and then gonna check if the hotbar slot is empty. It's just the same as the inventory slot, guys. So just copy from that actually. Make a for loop. First index is 0 and get the number of hotbar slots minus 1. Okay, and then the loop body here, we can now add the hotbar slots. Split the struct bin and set it is empty here, item data here, and the sort index goes to the index from the for loop. Okay, let's initialize hotbar slots. Alright, cool. And compile. You know, we can go back to this hotbar WBB widget, go to the event graph, and we don't need to set the number of slots anymore. We're gonna do some modifications to this initialize hotbar function since we already have initialized our hotbar slots actually. Okay, so we're gonna copy this. So we're gonna get the hotbar slots from the inventory component like that. And from here we can have a for each loop like that, and we can just delete the for loop here, as well as we don't need this anymore. Okay, just delete that. Let's move this back like that. Plug this back into the add child, and from this for each loop, plug the loop body into the create widget, and the hotbar index goes to the array index. Compile. We should have to go back to the hotbar slot here. Okay, so we have this set hotbar item function that we called on the event construct. So we don't want this, so we can disconnect this, compile that, and we want to call this function from the hotbar widget over here. Okay, so we can set the hotbar item after we bind the event. Okay, if we do this before we bind the event, it will not work. All right, plug it right there, and the item data goes to the array element here. Nope, sorry, break there. Item data goes here. The clear is gonna be from the is empty here, and skip delay is gonna be false. Okay, compile, and we're gonna play the game, so everything should work just fine. So we can see that the hotbar slots are loaded successfully, and you can also update and move the item around here. And let's just move it back to the inventory here, and click 1 to save. Everything should work just fine. So you're gonna click play and it loaded successfully. Alright, cool. Now we have done with everything for the hotbar slots. So we have done the consume item. We have also finished the save and load game function for the hotbar. Okay, and for the next video, we're gonna work on the equipment system as well as have a more proper way to save the game. Alright, so that's probably it for this video. Don't forget to give a like. And also the project link are available in the link description. So if you got any problems or issue, you can take a look at the sample project and let me know if you have more questions. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.